Ask the mayor of Pemberton about reconciliation with the local First Nation, and you'll get one answer.
It's evolved and changed in a big way, and I think it's a lot more collaborative than it used to be. There's a long way to go.
The town is named for a Hudson's Bay Company surveyor and sits on unceded Lil'wat territory. But he says there are strong connections with them.
We work very closely together. I feel that there's an ease in terms of picking up the phone between myself and Chief Nelson.
But talk to Chief Nelson, and you'll get a different answer.
Well, we're on talking terms. I mean, we speak different languages, on things, and but the understanding is still not there.
The Lil'wat Reserve sit on just 0.006% of their traditional land. Nelson has watched Pemberton grow by leaps and bounds in the last decade, with his people mostly excluded from taking part.
I did send a letter to the government stating that we have to stop everything that's going on, like any industry, and that we're still sitting here. We're not part of the, the higher development of things that are going on here.
Across BC, small towns are often on unceded land where Indigenous settlements once thrived. First Nations were forcibly displaced to reserves, excluded from opportunities in town.
The reservation itself was that we were not allowed to leave the reservation at times.
The reserves are part of the foundation of the Indian Act, and part of the reason small town reconciliation can be scattershot.
This is by design. First Nations are focused on the federal government because of the Indian Act, which is still in place today. And so a lot of the government relationships are focused towards Ottawa or in Victoria as well.
Ginger Gosnell-Myers is a fellow at Simon Fraser University who works on urban Indigenous planning, policy, and decolonization, and says small towns should better appreciate opportunities in working with nearby Indigenous communities.
A lot of First Nations communities bank in a small town. They get their groceries and their gas in a small town. They eat at the restaurants in the small town. And First Nations are really responsible for keeping these small towns alive, and that hasn't normally been recognized as a positive attribute.
But bigger symbolic changes could happen soon in two small towns. Powell River and Queen Charlotte just finished surveys asking residents about a name change to something less colonial. Meanwhile, at Mount Curie, Chief Nelson is just looking for signage that tells people who travel past Whistler along Highway 99 exactly where they are.
There's no identity to the territory, as you come in.
A territory next to a town, still trying to forge a path forward together. Justin McElroy, CBC News, Mount Curie.